Hail Hydra.
I told one of my friends who's like been in like showing me support in my DMs. Like I've had at least a couple who also have platforms, and they're like, "Hey, I feel bad for not saying it." I'm like, "Don't do it. I don't. It's okay. I just don't want the mob dogpiling you two. It's not worth it. Unless they really felt compelled to, like strongly, then it's like. But I definitely don't expect anybody to do that because, yeah, it's crazy out there. I think I had my rebellious stage was just late because I was homeschooled. So I think a lot of homeschoolers were kind of socially behind. Not everybody, but at least I was, and so I feel like that's why I always say I feel like I'm 10 years behind socially what like people who grew up being in public school are. Which I mean, I think I love that I was homeschooled, so I don't say that as a bad thing. There's going to be pros and cons with everything.
I find it easier to be like, to do a search for like, show me Bible verses that deal with this or that subject.
Right.
And actually, a couple of my Bibles that I did get from confirmation, like in the
Yeah.
back, it says like, when you're going through this, when you're dealing with anxiety, when you're dealing with like depression, and it'll tell you where to go. And I was like, okay, that's helpful.
The Holy Spirit will lead me where I'm supposed to go. Yeah.
Mhm. And it's all about free will too. Like, you're not gonna be knocked over the head with it. Sometimes, though, sometimes, like,
Sometimes.
God is trying to, like, really teach you a lesson. You'll make the same mistake over and over till you figure it out. But usually it's a whisper, so you have to be, like, really tuned in. And
Yeah,
I
but
just
that's the thing too is like you'll see like you're not gonna accidentally like if you're really locked in, you're not gonna accidentally fall off of God's path if you're really locked in. Every day you're in prayer, you're in the word. God's not gonna let that happen if you're actually locked in. Like you're gonna find yourself like looking back and thinking, oh wow, look how everything worked together for his good and how this was all a part of his plan, even when it didn't feel like it. When I look back at like how things were in the gaming industry for me and I had that first big cancellation at the time it felt like oh I'm losing everything but then when I look back years later it was like oh no this was God positioning me for something new and to be an independent creator and to share his word and to not just be a mouthpiece for a corporation but to actually to be where I've been lately. And so it's just like, okay, I feel like God has moved me in that direction. And so it's just kind of like, okay, God might move me to do different different things even now.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, I've done this. What's next? Like, what's that gonna look like next? And yeah, I still I don't know everything, but I look back and I say, okay, well, God's definitely been working in me, and sometimes things that go bad are actually part of God's plan.
I'm in God's hands because I look at every aspect of what's happened over the past 2 weeks, and I know that my actions and words do not equal what is coming back at
Yep.
me. This is I know that this is not this has to be spiritual because
Mhm.
I I was like, "The goalpost is continually being
Yeah.
moved." It was like, "You have to say that you don't condone, deplatforming." I was like, "Yeah, I said it. I don't
Yeah.
condone deplatforming. I am not for that at all." "Oh, you have to say that you're not okay with content stealing." "Yeah, I said that I'm not okay with content stealing." "Oh, then you have to, like, you have to, like, admit that you knew some of what was going on, but not all of it. Like, you knew some, you knew some of what was going on enough to bring it up." Like, yeah, I did admit that I knew some of what was going on, but not everything that was going on. And so the goalposts over the last 2 weeks continually
Yep.
moved, and it's just so interesting. Like, after you're in like our first attempt at doing this, then it was Mother's Day weekend, like, I had another guest in studio, then it was Mother's Day weekend, so I wasn't gonna talk about it till Sunday, but I was like, "Wow, people can't if there is confusion on this, people cannot wait to see
Yeah.
what I have to say." They're gonna jump all over it, make shit up,
Exactly.
twist whatever they gotta twist to make me look as bad as possible, and I was just like, "Oh, of course, this is YouTube." And I know this really isn't about me because the
Mhm.
overreaction was so overboard, and I explained I explained myself every step of the way. Yeah, I also fessed up to where I screwed up, where I mishandled, where I fibbed to spare a friend's feelings, um, I just don't think that even I don't think anyone should be entitled to somebody else's platform. You are
Right.
not entitled to jump in
Yeah.
and and take over a show no matter how you feel
Yeah.
self-righteous about it. It's just not your platform, it's not your show. Anyone can do anything they want on their own channels.
Mhm.
But I don't like to do that. I'm not an ambush
Yeah.
person. I'm not a blood sport person
Yep.
that, I don't watch that content myself. I don't
I
think
don't either. Yeah.
the viewer I mean, some viewers really do love it, but, it's just not for me. So, I didn't do that. I didn't go against my own beliefs and what I felt like was right to do, and, I got raked over the coals for it, but anyway, I say all this to, like, I don't need to go over everything again. Like, I've
No, you don't.
gone over all these details. I've explained myself on every point,
Well, I
and it's
see
just not good
people.
enough for people because
Yeah.
there's something so satisfying to the mob, and we were saying this before we hit record, we're like, people got very upset that we compared it to SJWs, and we compared the tactics to SJW tactics, and we're like, well, this is something that the left and the right both do. It's not even really a left and right thing. It's really like this is the worst of human nature coming
Yep.
out because
Yep.
the digging up old stuff, the like even if it's a 12-year-old story,
Yep.
um like people will disregard like, "Oh, this is a comedian who might embellish for entertainment or comedic
Mhm.
value. That doesn't matter. We're gonna take it and we're gonna use it and try to shame you for your
Yeah.
life, or anything else." And, I was like, "Oh, this is not." We've seen the leftists do it more,
Right.
but people on the right are certainly on the right, who even knows?
I don't even know
Anyone's
what
capable.
side these all of
Anyone's
them are on. That's
capable.
like it's just a bad human nature problem. But I'm seeing like there's have been people who have said everything they wanted to hear. Even I saw just a content creator, I'll say just come out just a couple days or so ago and and address the topic. And they basically said all the talking points, everything that the mob wants to hear, but it wasn't good enough. It was,
Wow.
well, you waited too long to say something. Oh wait, you're just jumping on a grift now. And it's just like so it doesn't really matter what that's the thing when it comes to any type of mob is it's just like, hey, sometimes you just there's no point in explaining yourself because they don't care about the truth. They don't care about they just want total control and they also want blood. Like it's a
It is
blood
about
sport to them.
control. It
Yeah.
is about control because even when I explained, my reasoning for everything and gave context to everything, it was like, "Well, well, you need to donate all your money to Toys for Tots." What the I have a tot who needs toys. Where nobody
Exactly.
else is donating money
And
to charity. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's something you
right.
can do, but
But
why
are
am I
they
the "Oh, you're not allowed to profit off of your mistake." What the
and
fuck?
and the
Literally somebody
creators
else is
telling you to
profiting.
do that? Are they donating it? Are they donating their
No,
super chats?
nobody's
Then
doing
why
that.
do you have to? That's where it's just like a crazy standard.
Because I didn't cave to the mob, and I deserve to suffer because I didn't bend the knee, and I didn't
Mm,
lay down,
yeah.
and let whatever the worst narrative is be the truth. And I was like, "This reminds me so much of when I used to date this freaking dude, and, like,
Yeah.
we'd have fights, and the fight would not end until I agreed to his version of reality." Like, I had
Wow.
to completely abandon my reality and be like, "Okay, sure," like, 'cause
Sounds
it's
like a troon.
2 or 3 AM and I have to go to sleep. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
I was like, this feels abusive." And,
Yeah.
so that's why I was like, "All right, this is bigger than me for sure."
Oh yeah.
And, buddy is feeling that if I can help connect them or maybe steer them in the right way, um, because I know a lot of girls who have worked in this industry, and it's like, it really doesn't take much. Especially with OnlyFans now, like,
Yeah.
literally anybody, can do it. The money is such a temptation, especially for girls that don't even if you do have a college degree, oh my gosh, like,
Right.
however many years it takes you to get a job that's gonna pay enough to pay off your loans, it's so easy to judge, but, like, you have to understand, like, how much of it a lot of women are not gonna get a better deal
Right.
working at other jobs, and I just think, I start thinking about, like, okay, like, what kinda content do I wanna make? I think sometimes it's important, these moments that humble you. I think God wants to sometimes crush your ego or crush,
Mhm.
the whatever
Yeah,
you built up for yourself just to remind you, like, "Yeah, you can't do anything without me. You're not gonna get through
exactly.
this without me."
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was my point, like, the devil uses shame to
Mhm.
keep you from becoming who you're supposed to be, and I
Yeah,
think, a messy path to Christ is nothing to be ashamed about. Everybody has sinned,
exactly.
whether it's, public or not,
Yep.
nobody's perfect, so and it's like a drug, like, it feels good in the moment to like, I'm sure, like, talk shit, focus on somebody else's
Mhm.
foibles, and I'm noticing, like, wow, a lot of this is projection, like,
Yep. Okay, it's getting some clicks and all that, but to me it's no different than it's just as bad as OnlyFans. Like it really is. It's like okay that there's you have people prostituting themselves for money. Well, to to make content that is just going to with the intent of stirring up anger in people and trying to harm people, gossip, all of that, that is no better than a girl doing OnlyFans. It's just as bad. It helps when you've got a bunch of people who are against you. It really helps when you can just turn off the internet and just focus on the things that matter. And that's one thing that my husband's been great with. He's just like, stop looking at your replies, stop looking at all this stuff right now. He installed an app on my phone to where I can only actually look at Twitter like twice a day. I can,
Stop! That's actually great. Seen a few replies where I'm like, "Okay, a few people know exactly what's going on. A few
yep,
people really are dialed in. I can tell they've listened to every video I've put out about it. They understand my points. They're not trying to misunderstand me or
yeah,
trying to misunderstand you. They know exactly what's going on." I'm like, "Okay, I've said my piece. It's the truth is out there for people who have ears to hear it." And,
yep.
I always expect to get canceled over jokes, and it's like, "Oh, this was something else. This
It's
was
always
something
something
else."
you
Yep.
never expect. Sometimes you'll make a post and be like, "Oh, this one's gonna get me canceled again," and it doesn't. But then something random, they're like, "What? This is what people are mad about."
Oh,
Also, it's a funny word, and I'm all
it is
about like freedom of
funny.
speech. It's
Oh, speaking of freedom of speech, yeah, another thing that I've seen people twist the meaning of, like, people seem to think that, like, freedom of speech equals harassment, like, I can
oh
send you horrible messages and I can wish sexual violence on you, I can
yeah.
wish all the worst things on you and your family. "Oh, but it's my free speech." It's like,
Hmm.
dude, that is not what free speech is for.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
goodness.
Yeah, and so also there are people be like, "Oh, you blocked me. You're not for free speech." It's like that is totally different because then by those standards, are you okay with somebody walking up to you in your house and calling you names and saying mean stuff? I don't think so. So on our
Imagine
little
you're
internet house, we're allowed to tell people, I don't want you in my
Imagine
house."
you're walking down the street and somebody comes up to you, puts $5 in your pocket, and then says the most horrible
Yep.
stuff you've ever heard. "Well,
Yep.
I put $5 in your pocket." It's like, "You gotta
Exactly.
listen to this. You gotta tell everybody."
Exactly.
Oh, goodness, no. So, yeah, that's all. This is good. I feel
Yeah.
good.
Well, when it comes to mobs in general too, and when they do dogpiling tactics, like when they have a problem with somebody, they want to ruin their life and they want to ruin all of their friendships, and that's part of it. And so then even if
Right.
it's like, okay, if they're targeting you, then they try to make you lose all your friendships too. And it's terrible.
It was so good to chat, Melanie. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Hail Hydra.